Hey everyone, how are you? Welcome back. Passover listings here, the number one place to find and look for Pesach programs, which we'll be doing, which a lot of people are doing a lot of this year. And we will be having some special guests joining, and we'll be bringing them into the conversation very quickly. So we're going to invite as well, and feel free to ask any questions as you guys jump in. It's gonna be okay. So we're just getting some people jumped in. All right. So we have a couple of people joining. All right, there we go. So we got okay. We're missing David.
The missing David always. Yeah.
I'm here. Can you hear me? I don't know why my
Turn. You're gonna have to turn. There you go. You're gonna turn your camera around, David.
We see David your computer screen.
sounds
Yeah.
typical. How
So
do I do?
what you do is there's a little circle on the bottom right of your screen next to the happy face where it's like an arrow pointing left, an arrow pointing right. Hit that arrow and then it turns the camera to you. It's on the actual little screen. You'll see if you click.
Yeah, I'm only seeing the live.
So
David, are you?
okay, that's better. There you go. We can see it perfectly now. Okay. So let's see. And then we have, all right. Do we have the Chef Moshe on the line? Okay. Let's get started. And if he's able to join, he's able to join here. I'm not sure. Let's see, invited him, but see if he can jump back on. I think his camera's frozen. So thanks everybody for jumping on. Passover listings here with lovely Upscale Legacy. Upscale Legacy is having a Pesach program this year in Palm Springs, California. And if you're looking, at Passover listings, you can find them in California and Palm Springs, and you'll be able to find more information. But we're doing these live videos to give you guys all the information you're looking for. If you guys have questions when you guys join, feel free to just drop them in the comment section, and then we will get them answered for you as we go. Let's just make sure from a technical standpoint, we got everybody on. So we got David. David, you there? Avi, you there?
Yeah, can you
Avi,
hear me?
you're there.
Can you guys hear me?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. I don't hear David, and I don't hear Moshe here. So hold on. I don't know.
I'm the
What's going on here.
technologically savvy part of the team. If you haven't.
Yeah, seems like it. Seems like it. We'll wait another minute.
I think they're frozen here. I'm messaging them.
Yeah, message them, let them know to request to join. Have them like rejoin, and they can jump back on, and we can kind of get into the nuts and bolts. Yeah.
1 second. Sorry. Let me call them.
While we're waiting for them, anybody just jumping on right now, of course, if you're looking for a Pesach program, check out Passover listings. If you need any help finding a Pesach program, please don't hesitate to reach out to us directly. Avi, were you able to?
I'm going to rejoin because I can't hear you. I think there we go.
Okay. Hi, Chef Moshe, you there? I see you.
How are you? Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, there we go. Okay.
Wonderful.
All righty. So good to meet you. We're just waiting for some other folks to jump on. And then we're going to get into asking you guys all the questions about your Pesach program this year that's happening in Palm Springs, California. As other people jump on, they can ask questions as well, and we'll get into it. All the details in terms of what goes into running a Pesach program. So let's get the other guys on, and then we could. Okay, David, you there?
I'm trying to be.
There we
All
go.
right. So we got Avi, we got Chef Moshe.
Sorry, Instagram doesn't want to work today, apparently.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
But
I think
my camera's not working for some reason.
There you
Oh,
go.
there we
You're
go.
working. You're
there
live.
you go. Okay. All right, guys, let's get started. So we got a lovely Upscale legacy with the owners, David Becker, Avi Landsman, and we got the chef in the house, Chef Moshe as well. So we're going to give everybody like an overview from A to Z in terms of what to expect about going on Upscale Legacy, where it's located, what type of hotel, who the organizers are, so on and so forth. So let's get right into it, guys. It's good to see all of you guys on. I know you're having a program in Palm Springs, California this year. Why don't we take one step back and just, maybe give an overview from the owner perspective, of your experiencing running a Pesach program in the past, what you've done, and talk a little bit about that to give our viewers, a little bit of background there.
It seems that David's frozen, so I'll take the lead and
Yeah,
start.
go.
My name is Avi Landesman. Live in Los Angeles. I started Pesach working as a runner. I was the guy all the way on the bottom, running around, the chicken without his head, doing whatever was needed. Did that for a couple of years with Upscale Getaways way back in the day in Niagara Falls in Connecticut. Took a long hiatus, went into the IT sector for quite a while. October 7th came, I dropped my life, went to the Army. When I came back, I got the opportunity. David called me, he said, "Hey, I need a guy to come work at Upscale Getaways. We're starting this back up. We're kicking things back up. Are you in?" And I guess the rest is history. Last year was, our year, our breakout year, the comeback year, would call it. We were in Irvine, California, Costa Mesa, really. Very different style hotel, but we ran, I believe, what was quite a successful program. We showed up to our guests. We showed up for our guests, excuse me. And now we're back bigger and better. We're going to Palm Springs. We are luckily the first program back in, I believe, 18 years. Palm Springs has been
Long
frozen
time.
for the desert
Yeah.
has been offline for 18 years.
It's so cool because you hear we've been hearing going away from pencil programs for so long. You really, isn't that crazy? You haven't had there hasn't been a program in Palm Springs in that long period of
Yeah.
time,
Not only
and
that,
it's beautiful. It's
yeah.
beautiful out there. It's gorgeous, right? The weather's
Beautiful, and it was
great.
the Mecca of Palm Springs. The Mecca of Pesach. You had 2005, I believe it was. You probably had 3 or 4 programs just in Palm Springs.
Right,
That community.
right, right.
And boom, Coachella came to town, and everybody kind of vanished.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
we were really lucky. We scoured. I can tell you, I got in contact with pretty much every single resort-style hotel in Southern California, Nevada, Arizona, anywhere close within a 5-hour flight of us.
Yeah.
And just somehow, we got very, very lucky. Thank you, Hashem. But we got lucky, and here we are. Palm Springs is back online.
That's amazing. So let's get into it. Let's get it. You just mentioned the hotel. So, talk about, where the hotel is, the type of amenities it offers. A lot of, it's funny. We always we talk to thousands of people a year in terms of, what they're looking for, what the biggest thing. Obviously, of course, food is a big thing, which we'll get to in a minute with the chef. But the hotel is really important to people. So talk a little bit about, what the hotel offers to people and the rooms and the amenities. And a little bit about that.
The hotel it's a beautiful property in downtown Palm Springs. It's actually the only resort inside of Palm Springs proper. Everything else is kind of on the outskirts of Palm Springs, and David will be able to chime in a lot more about the hotel. David is actually a former Palm Springs resident. David grew up in Palm Springs, so he knows the history of the town and the history of this hotel.
Okay.
So I think, David, you want to
So
go a
David, why
little?
don't you just jump on now that we have you here? So maybe talk a little about just quickly like your background in the Pesach program industry, which I think is important for people to hear. And then also we were just diving into the hotel. So let's talk about the background and then quickly shift over to the hotel quickly.
Hi, everybody. I'm David Becker. Really pleased to be here. Sorry about that technological snafu over there, but I'm here in the flesh. So my background is since I'm 51, since I'm 18, I've been in every role that you could possibly imagine in the Pesach business. I started off many years ago in Palm Springs itself. My first one was for Moshe Ween at the old
Wow.
DoubleTree. And it was a wonderful program, and it impressed me. That was actually my first job. He gave me the opportunity to just be a line cook, and it was wonderful. It was just a great experience, so much fun. And my parents had retired there, so I mean, here was a guy calling me. I was, like a guy. He asked me to come in. The next year, I was a mashgiach. I moved myself up to more advanced cooking positions, kitchen manager, product manager, every aspect. And in
Right.
2000, I think 9 or 10, I met Ben and Dove, Ben Camille and Dove Wiseman of Upscale Getaways, the legendary Upscale Getaways,
Right.
and we really hit it off. And I went to Niagara as their director of the tea room, and eventually our relationship was such and so cohesive that we really developed Upscale Getaways, their brilliance, their innovation, and they gave me a tremendous amount of leeway to develop our beautiful tea room, and I became just really immersed in that area. So then I became the tea room manager, and in that sense, we had a really brilliant triumvirate where Ben would be the front man of the
Yeah.
program, and Dove would be the food, and I would be the tea room director, and that was really it
And the
really
tea
worked
rooms
out
are
well.
tea rooms are so important in programs. I can't tell you enough. I've gone on programs where, tea rooms are just, you know, uh, uh, just some coffee and some cakes, and then some of these tea rooms are just super extravagant, over the top, really beautiful, nonstop, 24/7. So, no, it's really important to to have a good tea room. And I'm glad that just you divulged so much of your experience there. So let's quickly shift gears, Dave, and Avi, into the hotel. I want people to get a really good bird's eye view, no pun intended, of like the property itself. What does it offer? Types of amenities. When people get there, what can they expect? Let's start there.
Okay, Avi, you want to take that one?
I'll start it. I think David can, David can speak about what the people can expect. I'll speak about the property itself. Quite a large property, built like a spoke. So it's we've got 8 total buildings, all interconnected, with connecting hallways, all surrounding 3 separate pools. It's got a world-class spa, nice cold soak hot tubs, about 20 treatment rooms. We've got a full hair salon, nail salon that's going to be live and happening throughout Pesach. We have we've actually gone out and purchased our own branded full court basketball court.
Wow.
Yeah, we're really into sports. We have not only do we have branded, really nice sport. I guess I don't even know what they call it, but sport courts, I guess they're called.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have a full regulation size basketball court, 2 with our, again, all branded, matching our stuff. We're, going to be taking over an entire section of the parking lot that's going to be just a designated sports zone.
Nice.
Uh,
The teenagers, the kids are gonna love that. That's the
oh
big
yeah,
one.
we have
Yeah.
former NCAA player coming to run basketball clinics. David's son is a leading 5th grade basketball player here in LA. So David takes his
Sixth grade, Emek.
sorry 6th grade MX shout out to
Little plug for Emek over there.
yeah,
Nice.
my kid's going to mine one, so I might
Nice.
probably
Okay.
take it home. But yeah, we take our we take that seriously. Even more than that is between every single building is a nice like green patch where we're gonna each one will have its own theme. From a full kids park that we're building out, swing sets, think of your lawn games, cabanas, out in the grass, to just fireplaces spread out throughout a lot of chill areas. Just a lot of areas to kind of sit.
That's a big thing. A lot of people ask, at these hotels, is there a place to chill, to sit, to relax,
Well,
right?
listen, we're taking you to Palm Springs. If I'm going to keep you indoors, it's a real sin. You know,
Yeah, fair
it's
enough.
guaranteed 80-degree weather. You should not be spending. Our goal is to keep you
Yeah,
outside of your room and just enjoying yourself with just variations of different areas catering to different crowds.
yeah.
Your traditional ping pong tables, pool tables, foosball, teen lounge style rooms. But really, we're putting a lot of thought into designing every single, besides our indoor spaces, but
Yeah.
really putting additional thought into designing our outdoor spaces to make
So
them welcoming and relaxing.
no, that's amazing. No, the hotel seems great. It seems like you're customizing it also for like the specific Pesach program, which is awesome. You don't hear that
Yeah,
often, which is
we've
nice.
got we've got a food truck at the pool.
Yeah, food truck at the pool. That's a killer idea. It's awesome. Yeah, kids will love it. I remember that. Those are great. So let's dive into programming a little bit, right? Because
Well,
you know,
Donnie, if you don't mind, if I can add,
yeah.
this hotel has history. Palm Springs has history. This is the very hotel that started it all for Palm Springs and its historical lore. This is where the Rat Pack hung out. This
Oh,
the
oh,
stage that we're going to be having Joey Newcomb on,
yeah,
and hypnotists and all sorts of mainline shows is the very stage that Dean Martin,
really?
yeah, this is it. This is
I didn't
Frank
know that. That's
Sinatra.
cool.
This is it. As a matter of
That's
fact,
cool.
we're having one of the private Siddharm as well as a curated opportunity for our guests to actually work with Chef Moshe and develop their own meal, like a really chef taster par excellence. That's the room
Wow,
where
that's really
where
cool.
Sam Davis Jr. and Peter Lawford and Dean Martin and Frank smoked cigars and
Wow.
played pool. You know what I'm saying?
So
This
there's
it.
legit. So there's
Yeah,
some really big
place
history there.
this place has a
Wow.
lot of history. Legit, Palm Springs has it's the crown jewel of
Yeah.
Passover, getaways. It's
Wow.
we're
That's
sandwiched up
amazing.
against the mountain. There's hiking trails galore, 130 golf courses, 80 degrees, no humidity, none of that Florida stickiness.
Yeah.
And all respect to Florida, it's beautiful, but I mean,
Yeah.
this is Palm
Yeah.
Springs.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I get it. So let's go in a little bit further before we move to the food, which will take a lot of time on because everyone loves good food. But let's go into the program entertainment. So you talked about, obviously the amenities at the property. You're getting into like the golfing and the hiking and everything. But talk about, a lot of times people go away because of who you're having or what type of entertainers or people you're having on the program. So they obviously, want to kick it and chill, but they also want to have something to do. So talk about the types of things that are going to be taking place during Yom Tov, not during Yom Tov, on Chol Hamoed, right? That people can expect.
I'll start with this one. Avi will segue into it as well. Avi and I come from two military backgrounds, which means that we are very didactic and very exacting, and our execution is always on point. I served in the United States military. Avi served in the Israeli military. He was actually walking Jenin during October 7th conflict, going back and forth. Our perspective is military precision. And what we are planning to do here is maximizing the potential for entertainment and for programming, transitions. We're planning to give our guests something just absolutely remarkable. Every night of
Hmm.
Holomoid is going to
Hmm.
have a mainline show. So whether it's a great mentalist, and
Hmm.
the next night Joey Newcomb,
Hmm.
and the next night a wonderful Kumsitz Under the Stars with many, many different musicians led by Rabbi Shmuel Rose, who's a
Wow.
Kumsitz genius. But aside from that, there's so much more to the entertainment.
Hmm.
Every night we'll have 6 or 7 things for every age demographic to enjoy, whether it's cigars or whether it's a woman's kumsitz off to the side, or dueling pianos, or
Wow.
80 nights. There's always something that's happening. Mahjong and bridge for the people who enjoy those. And it's what we're planning to do is just maximizing all our time. It's a cruise ship on land. And that's what
That's.
we approach it from military precision.
Hmm.
Execute it in a beautiful way.
I
Avi.
love it. Yeah.
I mean, you pretty much summed it up. And like David said, we view this like a military operation. Everything is calculated, everything is thought of. We've really put people in place to succeed. David and I believe in empowering the people that we're going to put up there, whether it's our guests, whether it's our staff, to really succeed and giving them the right tools to succeed.
Yeah.
David mentioned our entertainers are, some of our speakers are, from David Sachs, who, if you're
Wow.
not, he's quite well known for
He's
his
amazing. He's one of the
Hasidic, the
best out there
Rugrats
speaking.
punt is the only way I would give him. He's a unique character to Shabbos Kestenbaum, to Jacqueline Sova, who's a rising star.
Yeah. David Sachs though, what did he wrote or created?
I believe it was Rugrats.
Was it Rugrats or Simpsons?
Maybe one of them.
One of the two. Yeah, it was unbelievable.
He's
Yeah,
a
because
legend in LA.
his speaking arrange. I've heard him speak in LA. He's unbelievable. I mean, blows your mind. Unbelievable. That's great that you have him on board. So that's
Yeah,
great. So it seems like it's great that you have that military background, and I guess where I'm hearing is that it's going to be very organized and planned out to a T, right? Where people can really expect what you guys are providing, will happen, right? Which
yeah.
sometimes,
And
yeah,
I would just add to that is you're gonna, David and I will be on the floor the entire time. Our entire staff is there. We're there to listen. We're there
yeah.
to hear. For the good and the bad. We're not looking to hide. We're looking to run into the battle and solve the solution, and not run from the battle.
I love these little military innuendos here.
We
That's
go for
great.
it. And we are also into risk mitigation. For example, we're bringing back as consultants
Yeah,
legendary Ben Camille and Dove Wiseman, who
that's
ran
huge.
Upscale Getaways and have taught me and mentored me to this program to make sure that it's happening
Yeah.
in a proper and beautiful way.
Yeah, listen, that's big time, right? Because Ben and Dove, who are pioneers in the industry, right, and have ran upscale getaways for so many years, and frankly, a high-end program. The fact that they're coming in, to your point, David, and helping in various ways and giving you the leadership there, that's huge. I think that gives, at least for me, in terms of attending a program like that, and I know, we're, some part of Passover listings will be there as well. I think is amazing to know that that there's some huge credibility behind that.
Right?
Also, the fact that you've ran programs before. So we got 10 minutes, 9 minutes. And I want to make sure we cover all facets. So let's get into what everyone loves, which is the food, right?
That's why we're here.
Everyone, I'm telling you, you have the food covered. Nothing could. I mean, things could go wrong, but people walk out of that and I say, you know what, that food was amazing. So we got Chef Moshe on the line, who is your chef at Upscale Legacy in Palm Springs, California. For those who are joining on right now, and so Chef, good to meet you and bring you on here. And so what the biggest question we get, out there from people is, what are you having? People like to know that there's a variety of options, both on the dairy side, both on the meat side, and also how often it's happening. Are you having poolside stuff? Are you having, is your tea room going to be opened up? How long and when does it end? But talk, give everybody the spiel in terms of what they can expect in terms of the food.
So basically, just let me just a quick background on myself. I'm a seasoned executive chef. I'm expert with over 25 years of culinary design and productions and events across Canada, U.S., Mexico. I've led the many teams. I put together a team for this year's Passover program in Palm Springs with my executive sous chef Pablo Guzman. And we are basically, it's not going to be catering, it's going to be flavor explosions all throughout the 10 days. We're going to rock we're going to rock you guys, we're going to rock your meals, we're going to rock your dinners. Same like David and Aviar, as the executive chef of the program, I don't hide behind the kitchen. I'm out and about all day long, every single day, where my people can see me. People, everybody's got their different concerns and their different things. The way I've branded my business, which is compliments to the chef and also kosher culinary concierges, we're there to solve the problem, to help the client, and to make everybody's experience a fun, full, well-fed Passover program, from food truck, from meat smoke station, from a tea room that's going to be milchig, I'm going to have barbecues in the tea room. I'm going to have plated meals. We want to do a different concept this year that we've been discussing. Buffets, creative and and exciting. Everything is just going to be wild and amazing. Pablo, who's the executive sous chef, comes in from a Mexican background. So and we've done many things in the past together. So it's like, what are we thinking of this idea or that idea? Like a tapas bar or anything that just, Passover is very, very complicated. From any other things that I've done, Sukkot, Shavuot, Yeshiva week, Hanukkah break. Passover is a very big challenge in itself. So you got to be creative. You got to be very, very creative in how you do it and what you do it. And it's, I always say, it's not what we put on the plate. It's how we serve the plate. It's how we show the plate and how we just take care of each and every single customer
So let's talk. So obviously you have massive credibility in the industry. People obviously know your food's good and your presentation's good. But do you have a little bit of could we get a taste of what to expect in terms of the menu? The types of different varieties of the meats, maybe, or you mentioned tapas, probably some Mexican, probably different types of cuisines, but. Maybe if you could give a little bit of that flavor explosion here, I think that would really help some people get a sense of what to expect
Moshe,
here.
let them know about our matzah variation. I think that's what everybody.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go to town. This is
Different
the time to
matzahs. That's what everybody's worried
brag
about.
away, guys.
like we're gonna have like a ton of different matzahs. Our menus. At the end of the day, we go through the same. It's fish, chicken, meat, lamb, veal, whatever it is. But it's like Mediterranean spices, Indian spices, Israeli spices, Moroccan spices, Italian, American. We're just going to play with it. The team that we put together is like, we're just going to keep things that are just like it's not the same piece of meat. It's not the same piece of chicken at the end of the night. It's constantly the way we've created the menu. I mean, I've got a menu that we've put together that's probably about 65 pages between dairy and meat.
And if I could chime in there, Chef, Chef is excellent at, and we are, the creativity and the fusion is not just it. You go to a program with 900 or 1,000 people or 1,800 people or whatever it is, you've got to put out a massive amount of food.
Well,
and
how many people are you expecting in your program? Let's quickly.
600. And at that level, we control creativity to an nth degree. I mean, Chef is planning not only that flavor explosion, the fusion. He's thinking about all sorts of different styles.
I love that. Dave, that's a big thing because a lot of people and to maybe quickly just, we only have, unfortunately, we have two minutes here. So I really want to get into one other thing outside the food, but just very quickly talk about the kids' meals, right? And the variety. Is every day going to be a little bit different in terms of? Okay,
absolutely. I mean, there's absolutely creativity. There'll be different things. We'll think of different options. We'll think of different things to do. Parents are going to feel like they're coming down and their kids are eating differently.
Every day.
Whoever we're putting, whoever one of my lead guys that's going to be there is basically going to again take care of what their needs and their wants is. But just make it fun. It's not just going to be, today it might be French fries, fresh cut French fries. Tomorrow it might be, potato coins. The next day it might be roasted potato chunks or wedges.
And obviously French fries with, of course, I just want to make it clear for everybody. It's not just going to be French fries.
Oh, no, for sure.
Have other proteins there.
Sure. And also, Donnie, Chef has at his disposal not only this wonderful Chef Guzman from Mexico, and without that international flair, we're also bringing back Gabi Bixer, chef, the legendary chef. He's a legend. We're all about legacy. Even, by the way, our executive chef, the great Chef Moshe, worked for Upscale Getaways before. We're all about the legacy. Chef Gabi is coming back, and his brilliance and his capabilities is going to add to everything that we're doing over here. It's just
that's huge.
Off the chart.
Look, I think the food. Yeah, you got the food covered. So we got it. I just want to make sure we cover one more very important piece before we can always obviously have follow-up questions from everybody here that's jumping in and joining. That one of the biggest things I hear year in and year out is obviously you come with your family and you want to just enjoy it. Sometimes obviously with your family, but also you want to go by the pool with your significant other, your partner, your wife, your husband, and just have a drink while your kids are in amazing day camp for the year. So I want to quickly touch upon the day camp piece, right? What does a day camp look like, right? And talk a little bit about the types of trips maybe you're having and things like that people can expect when you drop off your kid in the morning.
Why
don't you take
I can chime in here. I mean, we have, Mrs. Sarah Lazar is our head of day camp. She comes, with years of running a Pesach program camps, but in addition, she's a Chabad Rebbetzin who are, I feel like, it's natural for them to run camps, but she's run many, many, many C-team trips, pretty large trips. She's planning, for the Chag parts. Of course, we're a little more limited, but we do, we bring in entertainers and activities for the kids during Chag. We run a camp starting from 6 months till 18, really. If a 17-year-old wants to show up, which I assume they're not going to, but we have programming from 6 months and up. Starting for the young babies is 8 to 5 daily. Full day with trained, licensed daycare staff who will take care of your little babies. So, you can drop them off, make sure, feel that they're safe. You'll get a daily report of, when they ate, when they pooped. That's, how precise we try to get it. For the older kids, we're sports focused, but even bigger than that, our trips, not only are they included, we do not charge an extra dollar for any of the trips.
So, guys, that's a big situation. It's a big deal, big difference also with your, the fact that obviously that the daily trips, the day trips, are included are very, very crucial. And they're actually, where are you going? Where are you taking?
So we are going. If anybody's, I recommend it. Go look up the Palm Springs Surf Club. We are taking kids. We're taking our kids and families who want to join to a surfing in the desert, which is quite unique to Palm Springs. There's not a lot of it.
That's pretty cool.
In Dubai.
Yeah.
It's a full surf pool, full water park, smack in the middle of the desert. We're bringing food to the park so that it's kind of, if you've been to Hershey Park growing up, that's what we're trying to recreate. But in addition to that, we've got, Palm Springs is filled with historic landmarks. We're taking families to Joshua Tree. We're taking the kids to, the young kids to the Living Zoo. We're taking the older kids to ATVing in the desert. We're taking them to Field of Dreams. You've ever heard of Field of Dreams?
It's an action-packed. Yeah. So listen, unfortunately, this is great, guys. Action-packed. You got the food element, you got the hotel. Of course, people want to kick it there, but you also can, do these day trips as a family or as kids. Right. That's amazing. Look, guys, this is amazing. Obviously, we've been on here for a while. What we can do, we'll do a follow-up here. Dave, I appreciate, we got Pat again, guys, if you're tuning in, check them out on PassoverListings.com. They're the only program in Palm Springs, California. Got a lot going on. We got the owners here, and then we have the chef on the line too, talking about the food. If you have any questions about price, about just reviews, credibility, you always reach out to us, or you can reach out directly to them. And again, I appreciate all you three jumping on, and Hatzlacha, and we'll definitely be talking to you soon, guys.
I appreciate it. The last thing I would sign off with, the only thing that closes is our gym. That's the only thing closing at night. Food, is nonstop. The gym, nice. The hotel forces.
Got to work out when you're eating that much. Absolutely. All right, guys. Hanukkah Sameach, guys.
Thank you.